finish line. Check the radio, pit crew is far from slow. The lights no longer yellow. Ready, steady, go. Crank it up. Oh, it's racing. 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 In love with the ride. Burning rubber smells real nice. Fuel it up once or twice. Come on, fast is the way to drive. Crowds all on their feet. Not one bothered by the heat. Imagine them in the driver's seat. Checkered flag would be sweet. Crank it up. Oh, it's racing. Crank it up. Oh, it's racing. Crank it up. Oh, it's racing. Crank it up. Oh, it's racing.
Introducing RS30 Ultra. The first sim racing wheel and pedals designed by a professional championship racer. Officially licensed by Microsoft, RS30 brings next-level realism to your racing sims. Sense the road, know your vehicle, and get faster lap times as you tear through the track. Dual helical gear motors give you more torque than traditional gear drive motors, with the same smoothness and quietness of a belt drive motor. Experience a stunning 6 Nm of torque, the most torque per dollar than any other wheel, and fast, accurate feedback with 0 dead zones. Feel every nuance and know exactly when you're understeering, oversteering, or losing traction. Spring-loaded pedals give you responsive throttle modulation and brake progression for absolute control and precision, just like the real thing. 2 additional paddles can be used as clutch and e-brake, or as pedal-free throttle and brakes. A rotation switch lets you easily toggle between simulation racing and arcade-style racing. Even the diameter of the wheel is calibrated to exact race car specifications. And an easy share button lets you save and share your best laps with a simple push. From the metal build to the suede wheel and steel pedals, every detail is dialed to give the entire system a high-end feel. Get better, go faster, win more, and enjoy every second of it. With RS30 Ultra, you'll race like a pro and feel like one too. RS30 Ultra by GTR Simulator. Go fast.
Today's races have now been brought to you in part by our sponsors, but thank you again for all your help to the Pedal to Metal Racing League crew, as well as PT Racing TV Studios. Thank you so much for being a part of us. We certainly hope to see you back within future times endeavors. Thank you so much to our sponsors for Season 5 of Pedal to the Metal Racing League Cup Series. And at long last, ladies and gentlemen, yes it is, the time has come. We have hit the pinnacle, the biggest moment of the sport, the main event. It is now time for the Season 5 championship race here at Michigan International Speedway Live, Brooklyn, Michigan. We are here and ready to set for tonight's action here on PT Racing TV. Hi again, everyone. I am the Crusader, Christian Schreiber, coming to you live here at Brooklyn tonight. This is our start. This is how we're gonna play it out tonight. The wind and the weather holding up pretty good. The track, the D-shaped configuration of Michigan International Speedway, 2 miles in length, perfect for these two-ton cup cars to lay it on and throw it hard down on the track. With over 700 horsepower and 550 horsepower packages, these things are going to be put to their absolute test here today. And let's start it up with our final lineup for Season 5. On the pole, Jason Henry in the number 3. Well, the starting man is outside. Jeffrey Oaks, the number 20. Row 2, it's Robert Dudley going in tonight. The only driver that will walk away with the Season 5 championship. He has now taken 2 crowns home, but it is outside. Dennis Warrington in the 90 looks to win his very first race on the last race of the season. Row 3, Brandon Pike in the 22 looking for his first win of the last race of the season, and it is outside will be Matthew Hofford in the 84. Row 4, Corey Reed in the 27 is outside. The throttle, Chantel Bottle in the 5. Row 5, final starters, the Rattlesnake, Robert Kahn, the 21 is outside. Jeffrey's odds ups, rounding out your final selection of drivers. 10 drivers make the call. The field is stacked with talent and progression all around us. It is time to end the season on the highest of notes, the greatest of seasons. We are here to end this one out. It's go time for Pedal to the Metal Racing League. We will pilot them down off of corner number 4 this time for the last time in Season 5 and of 2021 for the Season 5 Cup Series. It's time for Pedal to the Metal to bring it all down to Michigan. Here we go. Right off the start, pretty telling here. Jason Henry with a great start out of the gate. Reason why he got that number 1 qualifying spot was certainly not due to a lack of strength and speed. He knew how to handle the momentum and how to handle the corners. And that's exactly what we're going to have to do here to hold on to these lines, hold on to this grip. With many greats coming in to fight it out tonight. Henry put us in our chat earlier. It's been a great racing season, some great people. Time to put on one more show. Robert Dudley saying, "What's up?" And Arliss Dudley coming aboard. To root on the man in the 49. Robert Dudley tonight will be crowned the Season 5 champion no matter how he finishes here tonight. Pretty much kind of came away with that title after a solid race and season for him. Same can't quite be said there for the 5 Chantal Otto, struggling after numerous injuries right now and struggling with numerous problems inside that car. And the 5, unfortunately, is going to have to send it back to the Shadow Realm in the backfield and hope to get back into this. Trouble down there for her, unfortunately. We'll have to see if she can bring it back ahead and fight back out on the track here. Stage break going to be in the round 30 to 35 limit here. We'll see what the drivers do when they get to that point. So far, though, I guarantee out of the start, these drivers are going to be very patient, a little more cautious and wary of trying to overdrive and trying to do too many overtakes out of the gate. You'll see a lot of folks trying to be playing them off, kind of smoothly, trying to laying into the control more. Tires here take a very big beating, and they're very hard on the surface here. This asphalt surface of Brooklyn, Michigan, can be a bit of a hassle when it comes to saving your tires for a long haul. I know all that too well. I ran here a couple times with the Xfinity cars, and actually one time with the Truck Series. And I'll tell you what, trying to hold these things down for a solid 20 or 30 laps just on a full throttle assault is not exactly the easiest, and nor do you even recommend it. Jeffrey Oaks, though, he knows a thing or two about Michigan International Speedway. If you recall, Hofford into the wall protection there, slightly gets out of the gas and backs it down, but Jason Henry also gets kind of collected in that mess, and unfortunately has to go back a few spots here. He'll lose a lot of ground as they come down through turn 3. And just like that, things can just change on a dime. You don't even realize it happens until it's too late. And unfortunately for the 3 of Henry, he's going to have to find a way out of the Shadow Realm and back into the light, because he is getting put further and further back. And even Jeffrey Tata's starting to make a little bit of a go around here as he fights it out there with Hofford in the core, as well as number 90 of Dennis Warrens. I was going back earlier what I was talking about here with Jeffrey Oaks, your race leader right at this moment. The number 20 has got some experience here at Michigan for a little thing called NASCAR Heat 4. I remember that day very well, actually. That was the first time he ever got to put a car, or actually truck I should say, in victory lane in the Pedal to the Metal Racing League crew. He told me earlier that that was still something he cherished and remembers most, but he said point blank, I haven't forgot that day because I've been using that as basically my confidence boost to race as hard as I can here in a cup car. He's never won here on the iRacing end here at Pedal to the Metal for the Michigan side of things. He said he would love to redeem that and make sure he can put it in victory lane. I know that feeling all too well there. I've been wanting to do that quite a bit myself at Phoenix. I still can't seem to figure that track out to get a win there. I can figure racing's good, but I just can't get a win there no matter what I do on the iRacing side. But that's just me anyway. That's just all. That's all speculation on that part, but it's still a lot of work to do. Robert the Rouse Thing Khan, right now, the number 21, man, he is muscling through the field a little bit. He's making a good aim and good use of those cars here. Trying to put the Motorcraft 21 inside there of Jeffrey Oaks. Oaksy knows he can't give him too much room. Neither can 22, Brandon Pike. And Pike slack dabbing him off of turn number 2. Both drivers make contact. They're damaged this time for Pike. And don't think for 1 second I forgot earlier what I was watching. I noticed down there where Robert Dudley and him got connected in. They kind of got a little bit tip-top and out of shape. Dudley would have to go back where the 22 Pike would be able to move ahead. Maybe a little get a racing karma in his mind for Dudley, as Pike now has to go to the very back of the end here. Unfortunately, though, for the Rattlesnake, Robert Kahn making a great solid charge. He ends up going to the outhouse once more. He's got a lot of work to do now to get back up to that position. Remember, he did not qualify. He had to serve a penalty for the remainder of this season, and I'm not going to get into full details, although I'm just going to say it happened back in Nashville Super Speedway. Y'all can go figure out what happened there. Arliss Dudley saying Chris up tonight. Is up tonight. Yeah, I'm up tonight. I'm always up on nights like this. I can't get around without my fix of Pedal to the Metal. What are y'all talking about down there, Arliss? 72, Jeffrey Todd Tubbs currently manning down the field while Matthew Hoffert trying to find an opening or trying to find a little bit of a get around here. Something to kind of corner off on him. Hasn't quite found it just yet here, but it's still in room and in play. Plenty of time here, of course. Remember, we still have a stage break coming up that'll allow these drivers to kind of regroup, re-strategize, and get settled back down, which I guarantee you that will help them a bit. Hoffert trying to keep that low line in, use the speed of the advantage. He certainly will do that, but there is damage on that right side. That is from earlier on. Came off that flat spot of turn number 2, and you probably are wondering again, what am I talking about when I'm talking about the flat spots of turn 2 or turn 4? Well, here's what I'm going to tell you. Look very carefully on my blimp cam here, and take a look right here at the shape of the bankment. You notice that bankment going from a curved end to a straight. That's what we call in racing a flat spot. There's a flat end off that turn there that makes you have to go from that corner degree banking into a kind of a straightaway. Now, generally, if you're riding in if you're driving in an Indy car, something that is open wheel, that doesn't matter too much and doesn't affect you too badly because you have a lot more grip, a little more control. But when you're running with fenders, you have to make sure you time that corner entry just right if you're starting to burn your tires up a little bit, because the wrong move can actually end up getting the car to sway up to the right, and once it sways down too much, it actually sends it straight into the corner and then into the wall protection. Like right there, you can see Corey Reed got a little too hard on that throttle there and ended up almost going right into the wall protection, but able to manage to save it and keep it on all fours. Speed and control is the biggest name of the game here on this 2-mile-long track, because not only are you trying to save tires, but you're also trying to stay square, trying to keep it clear of problems and issues there, and that's something that's very difficult to do. Now you're probably wondering, okay, so I understand why they're not having troubles in turn 2, but why are they not having troubles in turn 4 when it comes off that corner? Well, remember what I said there. You're going from a corner that is embanked in a pretty good steep hill to a flat end of the backstretch. When you're going into turn 4, there is no real flat spots other than just the curved banking that kind of sets up for the straight. So the straightaway is a little flatter than the turns, but because it's still banked in enough, these cars with fenders are able to actually use that weight and shift it one side to the other without really losing too much speed and still being able to at least grasp the control of the car. That's how these cars are able to really work their way around the track at such speeds they do without having as much issues as you would think. Again, they're going at about 38 seconds flat times. Right now they're at 40-second flat times, but their fastest is at over 193 to 195 miles per hour. So these drivers are getting some serious speeds off the corners and some serious runs in there. But the biggest thing I'm going to tell you again is it doesn't matter if you drive it hard now, you drive it too hard later. that could cost you big time and a lot of precious abilities. Some drivers now moving through the field here, looking to make up some ground here in clearance as Jeffrey Todd's ups in the 72. Trying to hang in there while Robert the Rattlesnake Khan, despite his little problem he had just a minute ago, seems to be getting the grip of the track here. You may have also noticed here earlier today when we were posting up the marketing, we actually had a different little layout there on the overlay. Oh boy, overlay! I think Jason Henry might be trying to find himself a new overlay for his road map, because that time his map said turn right and instead took him straight to the wall protection. Jason just struggling so badly. Cannot keep that thing under control and is trying to hopefully hang on for dear life if he can. As I was saying though, you may have noticed again we've done a little bit of a different marketing photo up here now. That's just going to be for mainly the intro. That's going to mainly be just for the intro stuff. The outro and the race winner post will still be the very same. We're not changing that up at all, but we just decided we wanted to try something new. Try to add a little flavor in, so hope you guys are liking the new look and kind of enjoying it a little bit. But believe me, nothing else really changes on that end. We're just doing one little neat thing for the intro for now. We'll see what happens from there. The YouTube thumbnails don't change either. We're gonna leave those alone, just kind of do what they've been doing. So, we're, like I said, here at PC Race TV Studios, we're always trying to find new, unique things we can work on. And well, believe me, we're trying to find every little thing we can work on, but you gotta remember, I'm only a one-man show, and when it comes to doing that kind of stuff, it kind of also comes to call the races. So, unfortunately, we don't have all the time in the world, especially if you gotta run a full-time job. So, for those that have stuck around with us and continue to support us, man, thank you so much, and thank you again to everyone that helps support PT Racing TV, and of course, Pedal to the Metal Racing League as well. They definitely have done a number for me and done a great deal of things to help me kind of keep up with this job and keep up these dates. So, really appreciate everybody and appreciate this as well tonight. So, enough about that though. In the future that holds, we're currently looking on down here on the front straightaway because Robert Kahn's been hunted down by Matthew Hofford once more. The battle for fifth commences here as both drivers continue to fight it out. Meanwhile, back up front, just like Arliss says here in the chat, Dudleyville looks like a yo-yo tonight, up and down, yeah. Well, right now his night better be going up, up, up instead of down, 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 because right now, if he can't seem to put left, left, right, right, up, down, up, down, down, select and start to work, I don't know what else will work. He seems to be putting a good moment here. Maybe he found the select button and selected. He's going to push speed. Using the draft line off the 20 of Jeffrey Oaks, looking to make the corner pass, entering into turn number 1. This is where blocking really becomes a big factor, because now you're trying to figure out, do I go to the bottom end and try to lose tires by burning them up, or do I go in the middle so I can at least somehow conserve, but not go too far up to where I'm going to smack that wall there and give Dudley a big opening. Oaksie knows this. He's very clever when it comes to watching his turns and watching the momentum. He's being very, very cautious here at this moment, knowing that the situation is very hard to control and master here. Dudley on the outside, still looking for an opening to get around him. Looks like he might find it coming into turn number 1. There it is, cross it up top, now back down the bottom. Oaksie knows he's there, he's got to lay off. Must get back down quickly and defend it if he can. He's going to get down there and defend quickly. Jeffrey Oaks right now doing a great job putting that dirty air in the rear end of Robert Dudley. And Dudley knows with that dirty air, it's costing him precious time and momentum to make a move and make a charge here. Also, folks, just a heads up as well, if you're not aware and you're seeing the comment section live here on Facebook, we do have our stars now, actually, that Facebook was kind enough to let us have. So, if you do want to donate a little bit of money to our channel to help kind of grow it even further and help us out, it certainly does do a number for us. So, if you guys would, throw some stars our way if you'd like. All the funds and all the proceeds will continue to go with us towards PT Racing TV Studios, and right now, I think at this moment, the only thing stars Dudley is seeing is a few Tweety birds and a few of those stars that fly around your head when you get knocked silly, because Oaksie and him got knocked silly going into that wall protection. Pit stops now are going to be put into effect here. They are very well aware of that, and Oaksie looks like he'll go in right now and try to get some damage cleaned up and some fuel in there. Dudley going to stay on out and continue to ride his race out. Robert Kahn back on now as well now. Has to stay below that yellow line, by the way. That is a rule of thumb in iRacing. You usually don't see that when we're back on the other platforms, but here in iRacing, that's a big deal. If you do not stay in the point of line of the pit lane road, you might as well catch your chances goodbye around here. Brandon Pike, I'm not even sure what's going on with him. He is all over the place in that 22 machine. I'm not sure if it's trying to sway one way or go another way, but it's not hanging in very good. That is for sure. Looks like he's got a little bit of work to do to kind of keep that car under wraps. As Jeffrey Todd Tufts will head into pit road, Warren stays out, and Dudley going into pit road now. So actually, Warren's will be our new leader. 3 lead changes so far here today. And we haven't even gotten to the halfway point of this one. This could go either way tonight as Jason Henry marches through the field now, charging quite up through the speeds. He's currently a lap down, trying to get that lap back. The only way to do that is to get around Warren's and then around the whole field. Warren's, it's hard to say what he's up to right now. I would presume he's probably trying to save a little bit of fuel and also trying to save up more of his car there for a little later on. Definitely a smart move, but doesn't necessarily equal success. I'll tell you one thing though, the Fire Chantel Bottle, I think she got pretty clever with her pit strategy. She got put back early. Now she got put it back into the top 5 spot here, and she's doing a great job hammering away, keeping this car in play. We go on board here with the throttle as Corey Reed will make the move in the pass here on the inside zone. Reed with a fresher set of tires here on that 27, able to make a good move around the Ford Mustang of the Deedub Button Boxes GTR Racing Simulator Mustang. And Reed now, hopefully trying to hang in there, trying to hold on for all he's got. We saw him battling earlier there with the guys and with the pack, but unfortunately just kind of drove it in a little too hard on the corner. And ended up costing him big time precious cargo there, and then kind of got him a little bit off center and off pack there. Matthew Hoffert kind of gaining back up here to the field. Dennis Warren's going to get put back behind it, but the problem is Dennis Warren's going to have a fresh set of tires on him and the 5 as well as the 27, so getting ahead back in that field is not going to be hard, but it is going to be difficult to kind of regroup and regain contraction. Taking a look at our field right now, top 10 here at the moment. This is how our lap times compare to one another. The best time set tonight, you can see now here on your screen. That is with Jeffrey Oaks. Currently not the fastest by a long shot. Actually, currently he's kind of in the lower end of that pack here. The fastest, believe it or not, is the rattlesnake Robert Kahn with the 38.53. And then second fastest is Jeffrey Todd Tufts, a 38.57. Lays down a blazing lap there and actually got him good position in, but again the tires did not take too kindly to that and ended up burning up a little bit in the process. As the yellow flag comes out here, stage break is now in full effect. Oaksey, Kahn, Dudley, Reed, and Hofford will round out the top 5. While Pottle in the 5 will have to go 6th. Dennis Warren's in the 90 will go 7th, 8th to Brandon Pike in the 22, and then 3 of Jason Henry going 9th, and then 10th for Jeffrey Todd Tufts. And race fans, the thing is, we've only just got started here on PT Race TV, and some wild moments to be had already. This season championship has been certainly one to behold, but when we come back, we're going to end it off and say sayonara to Season 5 and hello to Season 6 in 2022. But first, a word from our sponsors. Tonight's race, ladies and gentlemen, has been presented in part by our friends at GTR Racing Simulator. Welcome to the future, GTR Racing Simulator. It's not that we broke the mold. We just never used one. By Deedub Button Boxes. Quality button boxes made your way. Deedub Button Boxes always has you covered. By the Buttkicker Company. Best in performance for real tracks of the virtual world. The Buttkicker. Feel what you've been missing. By Gearhead Coffee. Whether you're wrenching on your vehicle at home in the garage or servicing customers at your automotive repair facility or dealership, Gearhead Coffee provides a unique premium quality coffee that keeps your motor running. By Ooz Motorsports. Don't think we're cheating because you think you're fast. By LBT Pallet. Don't got a pallet up to tip-top shape? You call LBT Pallet. We got you covered. By Ford Entertainment Group, PC.net, matching your want with your want. We'll always work with your needs to build the best PC at the right price. by Matt Mills Racing Team. Best of Xfinity teams out there supporting and sponsoring Pedal to Mill Racing League this season. If you want to help support Matt's journey next season, you follow him up on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, and show him some love by checking out his merchandise line on Facebook. By Mann's Maintenance. You want it done right, you call a man. By Berrytown Cleaners. If you got yourselves in a mess, Berrytown Cleaners can help fix that right up. And by Lightning Wrapz, most affordable designs made at your leisure. Lightning Wrapz will always bring out the best designs in your library.
With the Buttkicker Gamer 2, what you see and what you hear is what you feel. Buttkicker, the future is feeling.
Looking for a new PC or an upgrade to your current one? Look no further than Ford Entertainment Group, your home for the best quality and value in new, pre-built, and custom PCs at the lowest price guaranteed. We have affordable PC solutions for any budget, with custom builds starting at $595. Even the pros turn to Ford Entertainment Group to get them up and running. With valued customers from all over the world, it's easy to see why Ford Entertainment Group is the most trusted brand in custom PCs.
I wanted to save my awesome subscribers the most money when they started their sim racing journey. I searched high and low for the best deals. And I'm so proud that Jeffrey and I have partnered up so I can spread the good news about where to get the lowest price on a high quality computer.
Feel confident when buying from us with the FEG Satisfaction Guarantee. Get yourself on track today by visiting us online at fegpc.net.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, here back on PT Racing TV, live still from Brooklyn, Michigan and Michigan International Speedway. Time of day right now looking pretty sky and sunny and bright out here in the clouds. Well, they're hanging around, but the good news is for us, it's pretty much a lovely, picturesque day on this track in this playing field of over 10 drivers. Came out here tonight to put on one big heck of a show, one big finale for you all at home. Obviously, the season championship was decided there earlier last week, with Robert Dudley claiming a major points get and a points victory, and pretty much all but sealed his fate in his championship hopes. But the top 5 going into tonight still have a fair shake at positions and spots. That includes Hofford, Jeffrey Oaks, Robert Conch, Dennis Warrens, and Jason Henry, with Brandon Pike kind of lingering in there as well, and Chantal Throttapalo really needing a big help from any of these guys tonight. A win for her and everyone else fielding back to the position may be enough, but that's not going to get her much more than a top 5. But she's still in the hunt for a top 5 position, so you really don't know what to expect here. It could go either way. Well, the stage is set. The positions and pits have now been put into play. Who is going to be able to stay unwrapped and unraveled here today? Brooklyn, Michigan is about to see ourselves a restart. It's no time for the drivers. Wheeling them, dealing them. Coming off of turn number 2. And it's Corey Reed in the 27 with the advantage on the outside. Got a great runoff on that right end. Going to move off on the 29 of Dudley. But here comes Oaksey on the inside as well. Now looking for a little bit of a charge here. The field continues to pace their way down into positions. Every driver looking for everything they got. Trying to hopefully get some kind of runoff. Get some chances of hope and semblance of a victory here. There are so many ways to make it work down this track, and without a single issue or real scruffle that caused a serious caution to come out, everyone's been pretty clean so far. Damages that they suffered a little earlier have been cleaned up, they've been fixed around, and yet again, just giving you guys an eye-opening picturesque view from a chopper cam of that end of those corners, entries, and those turn exits. It is such a unique layout track, Michigan International Speedway it is. I must say as well, man, a lot of folks give it a lot of hate, honestly, and a lot of bad raps on us, but for what it is. But if I'm being dead honest for a minute, if we have that next-gen Cup car with over 670 horsepower on a track like this, and the way those tires are, and the way the setup may be, honestly, I think this track could actually be kind of a picturesque kind of race run, and I think it might actually be a lot more fun to watch than the previous iterations it's been. So hopefully that is the case, as we got a little bit of a tangle up there between the 49, the 21, and the 20. Couldn't quite tell who got into who there or who started what, but it looked like it might have been Robert Kahn getting a little loose off the corner there. You saw Chantel Throttle Pallet making a great pass around ball drivers there, now fighting it out with the 90 of Dennis Lawrence. We'll take a look at the P10 replay though, because that definitely deserves another look and another shake at things. Let's take a look from our chopper cam here. There's our look at it. Looks like OC might have slightly drove up. Let's see, Kahn shoots the gap. Little contact by Oaksy. Oaksy gets the bunt of it. And Dudley gets a whole lot of the 21 there. Not sure how bad that will affect for later, but it will definitely have done a number on both drivers here. The rear end, maybe not so bad for Kahn, but more so for Dudley, because that front end with that damage there, it's going to screw up that entire aerodynamics. And remember, these cars are very aero dependent. They need that control and that rearward to get the speeds that came off the ground. They definitely are not like the next gens where you can pretty much bump and bang all you want, throw anything you want to the wind. Bandit Pike, 3 wide, slid there off of turn 2. Holding down the momentum here and holding down the floorboard. He's hanging in there with them. He's trying to get up to the field. You can see the 49 at Dudley trying to back off and hope for the best. Maybe trying to see if maybe he can just kind of wheel this thing in long enough to go then to pit road and then get his speed back from the control and distance. But talk about having a whole lot of workarounds here, because he's got so much going down on the track. At the 5, Chantel, the Throttle Pallet, has taken the race lead over for the first time tonight. Reed had the lead. We know Oaksy was in the lead. Henry, Kahn was not. We saw earlier though that Dennis Warrens was pushing it up ahead. So I think right now we're nearly past the halfway on lead positions, which is good to know. And for those that are wondering, next season, no, we are not bringing the Cup Series back. The Gen 6s will be retired for Pedal to Metal Racing League, but I guarantee you'll still get your fix with the Tuesday night series, the Fast Fun Champion Power Equipment series, so don't worry about that. We'll make sure you got that fixed still. This is kind of the end of an era here, because hopefully next season, when the Xfinity series roll back into town, we can get some of that impressive, great racing we've seen before, and really the battles that have been raged before here on this track. This will be the championship track as well next season. And the last time Xfinity was here, oh boy, did we have a field day and a half there. It was top filled to the brim of hard moments, crazy racing, and really just great battles all the way around. You couldn't even really find anything better than that. Right now, just a heads up, there you can actually go to see what Chantel is doing right now in that car, because she's actually streaming right now on her Puddles Racing stream. So if you're curious to know, she is there right now currently streaming up. She hasn't been there in a while, so show her some love there from our end as well. But Jeffrey Oaks says, well, I'll show you a little bit of love by hanging up to the front, see if maybe I can give you some stuff to see here on your television screens. Coming up right there, up on the number 5 now, pulling the momentum and pulling the reins back towards his favor. He wants to try to make the charge and make it work. No matter what, this race will not be shortened. There will not be any issues of timing tonight. They will go the full distance, any laps here on show. We were told we don't have any other broadcasts to really deal with this week here or the next coming time, so thankfully we could let these guys and gals just go out here and just race, and I think that's really all they want to think about. They don't want to be getting too crazy or too rambunctious on making wrecks, though. They obviously are trying to at least keep these cars in one piece, because, I mean, even though it's the last race of the season, damaging these things up is still a pain in the butt to kind of clean up and fix up for the next go around they have on their official races, so you don't want to tear these things out. Well, the 5 had a great lead distance, but this is where Michigan comes into play once more. Remember that tire where I told y'all earlier? Well, that fall off now forces every driver to play their hand right as the 20 of Oaksey now looking to take shape and take aim here. He's moving his way through the charges and through his way through the field, making him run off here on the 5. And Chantel knows he is there, trying to keep somewhat of a social distance, better than I usually do when it comes to being on the outskirts of Walmart, but that's a different story. Brandon Pike, though, I'll tell you one thing, he's not really trying to social distance anymore. He's actually just trying to burrow this way through the field and march his way up into the fight. Now up to the rattlesnake, Robert Kahn. Great deal and burst of speed here for the Motorcraft 21 of Kahn, while the 22 Pennzoil machine tries to make his move and make his charge known. Corey Reed currently holding Big Act the 84 Matthew Hofford as both of those drivers continue to fight it out here. And it looks like I was talking earlier about the tire wear. Now I forgot about the one bigger issue at hand, which is that that bad air. Man, that error is just complete. That's one thing I really, in racing, honestly, I legitimately hate to see, is when you got drivers that are driving this 550 horsepower package with the Gen 6s, and all of a sudden you don't have enough speed to get around the dirty air that's been right in front of you. Even when you time your strategy just right, even when you get these tires to burn in just right, the aerodynamics of the car just literally screw everything up, and it just completely hurts each driver. To where, yeah, you have to rely on that draft, you have to rely on that push. I mean, you might as well call them next-gen cars, because that's really kind of what they are at this moment until we get otherwise here. Yeah, you can just see it. It's happening again. You know, we had one of our guys on the track that knows these cars and knows how to run them. That by a guy by the name of Cale Gale. And he came on here and he talked about it too. He said point blank, you can get a short run or you can get a real good long run with these cars, but trying to set up for either, you still have the proverbial shark tank of dealing with that added pressure of dirty air. And that dirty air is pretty much kind of what unfolds when a lot of these drivers on the track and kind of hurts their chances and their momentum. Without that extra bit of horsepower, without that extra bit of speed, that dirty air is just kind of a cleanser. It completely nullifies any real true skill that comes into play. It's almost like 75% skill, 20% luck, and then 5% just, I don't even know. Like, that's kind of the best way to put it. It's just like factors you can't even predict. It's factors you can't even remember or figure out. Managing to hold on to that lead, though. Again, the 5 Chantel Bottle. I mean, there's a drive. She wanted to win a race. I certainly know it would be tonight. She has not been to victory lane in quite some time. Again, she's been battling nagging injuries, really continuing to halt her progress, halt her momentum. I talked to her earlier today about this, and she said point blank, I have not had a great season. I'm ready to get back to those Xfinity cars, but I want to get healed up and fully prepared because I am so sick and tired of literally getting to be on the bottom reins of the sport. I'm trying to show I'm out here to race. I'm not out here to do anything but race. That's all I want to do. And she certainly has done that indeed, but you know, it seems like every time she gets out of a race as well, it seems like she always finds herself in a bit of a bear trap as well. She just can't seem to escape it. Even though for Jeffrey Oaks, this has honestly probably been his career season. He's had multiple wins, multiple race battles, and has had multiple times where he outplayed and outsmarted the field. And a lot of it had to do just with sheer consistency and sheer volume of horsepower. He managed to hang on to the track. He was always one of those guys that you just could trust on to really put up a good fight and a good show. And he's certainly been doing that here tonight as well once more. And it looks like his knight in shining armor, no, I'm not talking about me, it's the 22 of Brandon Pike, now moving the chains up here with him. Now the reason I say that is because Pike now can give the unique strategy here for Oaksey to actually get a draft partner going. And if the 5 does not have a partner, she can be put into a bad spot because that draft control of the 22 actually allows for him to pass on by and get a good runoff. As you see that little swerve coming off of turn 2, you saw that car just kind of dip into the right and it almost got completely sideways there. That's one thing, by the way, I absolutely love seeing on the iRacing platform compared to, like, say, Assetto Corsa, where it's just, you just don't get that same realistic broadcast feel and also that race feel that you get when you see iRacing, because the biggest thing there is you can actually see the cars tilt and move around, sway right to left, versus what you see on Assetto Corsa. It's almost like the cars are just kind of robotic, staying in perfectly one spot. A real good thing to know about that as well, try those street stocks. Whenever you race those, race them on a track like Thompson or race them on a track like Five Flags. Notice how that left front, it's dipping so far into the ground, but once you raise it up, you can actually see and feel the car doing it as it's going around. And speaking of going around, the 20 looking to go around into pit road, had a good runoff to catch the 5, but did not go for it. And now Brandon Pike will follow in from behind as well, as the Rattlesnake shifts the gap here to get his lap back from Corey Reen, the 27, and the 90 of Dennis Warrens. Sheer speed and consistency here from the number 21, trying to make his move and make his presence felt once more as Corey Reed continues to try to hang in there. Now Reed in the reconstruction, number 27, he's had a bit of a flagship race season. He had some good battles, a lot of top 5s, some top 3s in between. Wasn't quite in the winner's circle as much as I think he was expecting, nor I think even I would have been expected from him, but he was always a contender and always a player there. And what can you say about Dennis Warrens too, man? Just, he has literally this season came out and fought it hard with these drivers, but again, he just cannot seem to get out of the proverbial curse that I seem to put him in, which is he's just searching for that first win ever here on Pete's Race TV. He's come so close yet so far and just cannot seem to get it dialed up. Chantel Bottle now going to head down in for pit road. It looks like this time by. You can see her slowing the car down. I think she's trying to get all it's worth to make sure she can break this thing in at the right time. She's got to be careful though about that timing in. She knows she's ran through pit lane before too quickly, and that's cost her so much precious momentum for later on. As Jeffrey Todd Tufts, well, I think other than Hoffert, Pike, and I believe that's it actually. That's the only drivers that have not led a lap today. So if somehow, some way, Hoffert and Pike can get back into this, they will lead a lap. And we'll have, for the first time ever on Pizza Race TV, every single driver in the session lead at least one lap. Yeah, that's kind of crazy to think, and I don't know how we've never seen that before, but that'd be darn too. That'd be pretty cool if we could see it. Every driver coming out of pit road, including now the 5 coming out a little later now. I think she was hoping for. Yeah, trying to watch the field and watch the pace. Number 22, Brandon Pike and Matthew Hoffert marching their way down into the fight. The 5 will have to try to catch into the draft of the 84 to hope for the best. And the Dudleyville camp now. Robert Dudley has gained the traction and gained the control and consistency that is needed to work his way off the corners and back into the fight. Right now, looking at our pit lap times here. This is how many laps they had before they went in and when they came out. Now you'll notice the blue on the left side. That is the second time they went in. The third time is simplified by the yellow. And you can see, really, it's going to seem as though a 22 lap at most you're going to get on fuel. And judging by our lap counter right now, it's not exactly going to be the exact amount that they need. So sooner or later, unless a caution gets thrown here from a wreck or something, I don't see anyone being able to muscle this thing out on a long distance. They would have to back off in the corners, and they have to back off so much right now and try to save at least 3 or 4 more laps worth. But I think that's as far as they can go. I don't think they can get enough of it, so they're going to all have to go into pit road at least one more time. Now, when they decide to go into pit road, that's a different story. That could be the point taken of advantage versus finding yourself in the wrong place in the wrong end of the spectrum. Gone right now, about a 2.2 second gap right now between the leaders, second and third here. Jeffrey Oaks and Robert Dudleyville Dudley. Old Oaksy here kind of hanging on for dear life, just trying to make one last attempt at getting the second place finish of the season. Remember, the top 5 are awarded prizes here. Top 5 all will also receive a parting gift from our friends over at Gearhead Coffee. They will be supplying up some coffee for them. So thank you so much to Gearhead Coffee for that, and thank you so much for coming on board with us this season. Also, GTR Racing Simulator having a little special gift in mind for these guys. No, I'm not going to say what, but let's just say they will definitely be enjoying it when they get to it. Tried out some of their equipment earlier on as well here in the previous weeks, and tell you what, GTR Racing Simulator, man, I've been told good things about them. They are not lying. Great customer service, and definitely great folks that have a very good passion for the sim racing community, and they are just out here to prove that they are here to stay and help kind of growth the ever-expanding world that is the market. Of course, also from the Pedal Mile Racing League side, a trophy will be handed out to our champion here, which of course will be Dudleyville. So he will go home with a championship trophy, and I think he's also probably going to get something away from our Lightning Wrapz crew there. So the Lightning Wrapz designers, obviously they are making some amazing designs, amazing paint schemes. You've actually seen some of mine here on Pete's Racing TV before. You may have remembered my Buttkicker RBR Raceway machine. That was done up by them, and absolutely amazing beast, and I still got to get that thing done for my dirt late model sooner or later. Speaking of dirt late models here right now, you would have thought that right now Brandon Pike was really driving a late model, because he is just flat booking this thing around the track. He's already past Hofford, and he passed Henry a minute ago. Now back at it with Dudleyville. Remember earlier on, turn 3 here, it was Dudleyville and the 22 of Pike that kind of caught into each other. Kind of gave him the old bump and run and got him out of the way, but not obviously on purpose, but it was just kind of that little side skirt little moment where you just kind of put fenders to fenders and trade paint. But right now, at the moment, Dudleyville is actually playing the proverbial defender game. He is the one defending the line in, but you can see he's getting really aggressive off turn 2. Lost a lot of time and lost a lot of momentum there, with Pike kind of sneaking his way around that corner end. Almost had him in this spot. Charging up here, look out for Hofford. The 84 Matthew is right now trying to make a move off on both of them. Could not get it to stick. He's going to have to fight it back down. Got a good draft now. He's going to have to try to see if he can get another opening here. Khan with a good lead and a solid battle up behind him, with Oaksy just kind of staying away from all the madness. Meanwhile, these 3 drivers continuing to fight it out for a top 3 spot. Meanwhile, behind him, the 5 Chantal Otto, she's taking ever so notice of this one. She knows what these 2 drivers are up to, and she wants a piece of all of them. Now, Dudley still has a little damage on that left side. He did not get all the damage kicked out of that thing. He still has a slight skirt little issue there. So we'll see if that comes back to haunt him in a bit. But it doesn't seem to be facing him right now. Continue to draft off. Hofford pulling a great battle here with the 2 drivers and the front runners as they go continuing back into a 3-wide salute. Just neither driver giving an inch. Each driver just trying to muscle and charge their way up ahead in any position they possibly can here. But unfortunately for them, you take a look at that green down there. That's not exactly something you want to see if you're a driver fighting it out for position. That's going to be a tough little pill to swallow, because the 84 Hofford definitely burns him up a little bit. Now comes the 5 of Chantal the throttle bottle. Trying to put the GTR Racing Simulator number 5 into victory lane for the first time this season. It'll be her first Cup Series win in a very, very long time. Remember, back in NASCAR Heat 3, 4, and 5, she absolutely dominated in that Cup division. She was one of, if maybe not the toughest drivers to manage and beat out on the track. Now, obviously on iRacing, though, she told me earlier, again, just never take anything from NASCAR Heat to iRacing, because that is a whole different playing field, and it really has to make you question everything you do if you don't take away everything you learned there. She certainly was not wrong to be had there, but I mean, right now, every driver trying to hope for the best and trying to get one last win in, but this one I think would mean a lot to her, or Pike in this case, because both drivers still winless this season, with both kind of coming off great clutch moments and great battles in between. Pike trying to hold the line down. You can see the shadows actually fading off. That's actually the sun getting scud up by the clouds there, if you can believe that. Kind of a day to night transition. It's absolutely picturesque and perfect. I love it. It's amazing to see on the broadcast end as well on the actual track. One day, sooner or later, you just see all the bright lights and sun and right in your face. Next thing you know, you're just seeing nothing but darkness entering the corner. It makes the racing so much more difficult. And as a testament to the control and stability that is possessed there. And speaking of control and stability, it looks like Robert Kahn actually found himself on the receiving end of not controlling his car enough here. The Rattlesnake has lost the race lead to the 20 of Jeffrey Oaks. Oaksy, if he'll win here, will pretty much solidate and finish his season out on the top 2 spots. And speaking of finishing the top 2 spots, the 5 Chantel Otto now moving the chains in. She got a good runoff on Hofford and a good runner on Dudley and Pike, but did not get the momentum coming off the exit. 20 laps remain. Whoa, and Dudley right into the wall protection, bashes that wall in more times than I hit the wall in Kokomo with my dirt stock. He ended up hitting it pretty hard there. Actually got a little knocker, but thankfully kept the car in one piece. So there is slight damage on the right side. How much will that offend the aero affect us remains to be seen. We saw earlier though, once he got too much damage on that front end, his race was kind of all but tore up. He couldn't even catch back up with the field. Well, that happened here again. Oaksy goes into pit road, so will Matthew Hofford. And Brandon Pike and Dudley will now regain up control for the lead. And I think if Pike can get ahead of here and actually take the lead, then that will mean we only have Hofford and Warrens left to go to make sure we have a leader of every single track. But I think the 5 cents up bottle's not having that today. Goes straight to the inside, kill switch engaged. Now takes it over from Pike. Here comes Dudley now. Is going to have his hands full with the lady of racing trying to take him down. Dudley's backing off. He's giving it up now. He's going to hope for the best with this pit road strategy. He heads in there now, and the 5 cents up auto regains the lead while Pike will follow from behind. That's Brandon Pike, man. He is just such a tenacious cat. I cannot for the life of me figure out how he has been so crazy on his runoffs and his control of the speeds, but never really managed to actually get himself into victory lane all season long. It almost seemed like he kind of had something on his mind or was kind of weighing him down. It seemed like he was always kind of in that bad habit or a situation he just kind of found himself struck in. Speaking of finding themselves struck in right now, Pike will go into pit road. Chantel stays on out, trying to use up all the laps she can. She's going to go for the ultimate full throttle assault attack and use up every ounce of her equipment. She's very well aware what's going down, but so is Oaksy and Kahn. And the problem for Kahn is, you saw earlier, he made a great pass there on Oaksy, but Oaksy got him back on the long distance. Kahn actually playing the realm of Oaksy's game, looking to maybe make this work a little bit better in his favor. Oaksy and Kahn right now trying to stay away from being put a lap down here. While Chantel Bottle and Jeffrey Todd Tough stay on out here. Watch out though for Dudley. Here he comes on the inside. Oh, that was a close corner between him and Pike and Bottle. That could have been very dangerous territory. Thankfully though, every driver comes out clean from it, but Dudley really had to make that move so he doesn't fall lap down to the 5. Hard racing to be had. But with now only 15 laps remaining, when will the 5 decide to go in? She's pushing this pretty quickly here. Let's take a look at our strategy right now on the pit laps. And here it is. You can see I think she's going to go for the full 5 more laps to go. And then she's going to go for 10 straight of just pure speed. I'm looking at this right now, and this is exactly kind of what we saw earlier, where she'll end up trying to hold it down for the long haul and then just hit the hammer down and put the pedal straight into the floorboards. Seems like that's her strategy. It's hard to tell though. As a driver and as a crew, as a driver and a spotter, I can say I can't really do much in the way of crew chiefing, because really the way you handle yourself and the way you handled your own turns, your own corners was how you survived out here. And it looks like actually she's going to go into pit road now. I think she's seeing the writing on the walls here. Honestly, I think that's a smart move. I know that last 5 laps she could have just completely gone 10 laps straight of hidden everything into the speed zone, but the problem is Oaksy and Khan are getting ground clearance pretty quickly and they're catching up extremely fast here. 5 getting right sides on there. She needs to get the left sides on quickly. She's already running out of time here. If she can somehow get out there with only about a 5-second gap difference between her, Khan, and Oaksy, I'm going to put my money on the 5 to win this one. Oh, she's getting out of there. She's out. But Hoffer and Dudley are beating her out. So is Pike and Reed. So she's going to get put a few seconds back more than I said earlier. This is going to be interesting here, folks. With only 14 laps remaining now, anybody's guess who wins this. But we have a new leader once again, Jeffrey Oaks and the Rattlesnake Rubber Khan following him behind for second. This has honestly probably been one of the best races we've seen all season when it comes to just pure racing and also pure strategy by all drivers involved. Now again, there's not as many as you probably would think, but I've always said it, quality over quantity is the name of the game, and this is exactly what we're getting here. Each driver using their talents, using their own skill, and really using their own strategies to good use and seeing which one comes out on top. The highest level and the highest peak, somebody has got to give. Somebody has got to win this. But which one will it be? We got a battle of manufacturers here too. A Chevrolet and a Ford, and then the Camry and the Toyota right behind all of them. Khan trying to hang on, stay there right with Oaksy. Oaksy knows he is right behind him, just searching for the one move, the one big shot. I'll tell you one thing, Khan is, at this moment, he's keeping a distance and he's trying to also not use up too much tire in here. I'm pretty sure he's very well aware Oaksy's got him beat on long run. But Khan is extremely clever when it comes to short run. He's been known to hammer down and show what he can do and really what he's capable of bringing to the table. But did he play his cards right? Playing them out a little too well can cost you big time and cost you a lot of momentum. Take a look at the momentum wise. Let's see how far one driver is from another here. And you can see Henry versus Pottle. Pottle getting a very clean cut, clear grip of this track here. She's gaining a lot of ground on that 3. But she's still far away behind the other field drivers. And those guys right now are the ones that are dictating the pace. And they are dictating the lap position zone here. Now to the finish line here. Jeffrey Oaks will only have 10 laps left to go. He is pushing it with everything he's got, but he's not only doing that, he's also pushing his luck here. Look at this. He had gone 20 laps in before he went into pit road on the long run. That last time by, he went in at 15 laps. I can guarantee you he's keeping a close eye on that. Khan actually went, though, a full lap longer than Oaksy did, but the downside is Khan also has used up another lap more than Oaksy did, and this is really going to be a big problem for him. The amount of laps and the amount of change here can certainly be a handful for everybody, and it's going to be a challenge to see which one gets the better of the odds here. Henry getting ahead of Hoffer, trying to get one last steal of speed off, trying to get one last run out. Technical difficulties on our end here, folks. Trying to get that pit road stuff off there, and we finally got it there. But now, before we got a little bit of a pass in the side there, the 5 Chantel Bottle making a run off there on Matthew Hoffert. Time is of the essence here for these drivers, and they know it. Take a look at Khan's deal right now, and you can see Dudley is making a lot of ground on him and making a lot of momentum here to them. He's not giving him very many opportunities to strike, but every time he has, he's giving him plenty of openings to hit him with. Dudley is currently fighting it out. Brandon Pike, though, right behind him. Pike has been pretty much a thorn and a nuisance all day long to Dudleyville, and Dudley has been very well aware of that. How will this race finish out? We are down to only 7 to go. Hey, look at this. Pike going on the outside, maybe looking for a runoff here. He's going to have a great burst of speed to try to get around Dudley. Dudley trying to shorten the track out, but in turn also using up just a little bit of those tires. Trying to hit up a corner and hit a spot up. The more you move around the track, the more you're hitting up more of that tire wear. And speaking of tire wear, yeah, this is something that would make me kind of be a little bit scared, knowing how bad I'd be doing my tires up in this case. That's not something you want to see, I'll tell you that much right now. Corey Reed is very well aware his goose might be cooked in a minute. But there's still literally about a 6 second difference between the 5 and the 20. She seems to be getting a good grip of it here and seems to be figuring everything out the last minute. Hoffer going into pit road once again, had to get a fresh set coat of tires and some fuel there. Knows his strategy did not play out the way he wanted to tonight. But thankfully for Dudley, because Hoffer's battling it up there with the Rattlesnake, now he can actually take shape and take aim here. Hoffer's going to go to the inside. That's going to give a big opening here to the 49. Oaksy just continuing to just kind of mount his pace and mount his charge. Last week it was a fuel run that ended up costing Kahn the victory. Oaksy would come out on top. Off that final corner, turn 4, you saw pretty much live on Feature Race TV. It was literally Kahn just not saving enough fuel and ended up costing himself major time and effort. And Dudleyville was able to capitalize and get himself at least a high enough position to make sure he would lock the points up. Oaksy would come out on victory lane, but he knew he got very, very fortunate that he was just able to get one lap better, because he knew the fuel run was gone after that. And now in this case, it's going to really boil down to another fuel lap run here. 4 laps left to go. It's hard to say who's going to get the advantage here, who's going to win this one out, because each driver is just currently in a do or die situation. Nobody is going to get an inch here, and Kahn certainly not. He gets into the wall protection off of turn 2, and that cost him all the time he needed. Pike now moving up and further into 3rd. Trying now to lock horns with Dudleyville. Dudley is currently way behind Jeffrey Oaks here by about a 2nd and an 1/8, and right now at this moment, he's not getting a lot of speed down there to travel up. Oaksy starting to lay into it here. The final 3 laps left to go. It appears his strategy may have worked perfectly, but that wasn't what he wanted to see. That's a 6/10 of a second gang gap on the run. That's not good. Oaksy knows that's still plenty of time. That's literally enough time for him to be caught up to. Dudley is only about a 2nd and a 6 away. You do the math. That's about a 2nd and an 1/8 gap that he can gain on Oaksy on the final lap. That means this could go either way between these drivers. But is there enough speed and tires left in there? Kahn really, unfortunately, has just had nothing but a bad break all season round. Had a bad break tonight once again. But give him credit where credit's due. Keeping the fight and muscling it all the way to the very, very end of this. 2 laps remain. Green flag high in the air. Oh, there's a little contact made though. Hoffer got a piece there from Dudleyville. He was able to save it coming off of turn number 2 there. Great save by Hoffer, but that could have literally been a nightmare and a half, to say the least, for all drivers involved. That could have literally gave a huge advantage to some of the folks in the back to get one last run at the victory lane. But off of turn number 4, Jeffrey Oaks will lead and mount the charge. White flag out for the number 20. And once again, his pit strategy and his fuel mileage has just been absolutely killer and just smart, to say the least. His strategies really played into it all, and he was very well aware of that. One last ditch effort here from the 5 to get around the 21 of Robert Kahn. Kahn going straight down low, trying to avoid the draft. Not going to happen here. He's going to lose at the 4th. Dudley will come up in 2nd, but he'll have the season championship to his name. And coming in 2nd in the points, but victory At Michigan International Speedway, you gotta give it to the 20. Jeffrey Oaks wins once more here on PC Racing TV and our victory at Michigan. And the GTR Motorsports number 20 firing off another win and another victory for him and his crew. And he knew all too well what he had to bring to the table to get it done tonight. And Dudleyville just kind of saying congratulations because he knows he won the race. But Dudleyville will go back to back in his quest. He is your Season 5 champion here for Pedal to the Metal Racing League. And he won Season 4, so Season 5 belongs to the Dudleyville. Give credit where credit's due to Brandon Pike as well, coming away third place here tonight. Pulling off a great runoff and a great positioning there, but just fell a little short there just by the margin. Let's take a look at the final results now, race fans. Here it is. Presented in part by Deedub Button Boxes. The championship has been completed. Jeffrey Oaks will come away second in points, but winner will be Robert Dudleyville in the season championship. Both swapping spots. Oaksy with the win in Michigan. Dudley with the second place spot. Third going to Brandon Pike. Fourth to Chantel Throttle Pottle. Fifth to Robert Kahn. Sixth to Jason Henry. Seventh to Corey Reed. Eighth to Dennis Warrens. Ninth to Jeffrey Todd Tufts. 10th to Matthew Hofford. Rounding out the field here tonight. When we come back from a commercial break, we will talk to the top three and our season champion. Be right back after this quick commercial message.
Introducing RS30 Ultra. The first sim racing wheel and pedals designed by a professional championship racer. Officially licensed by Microsoft, RS30 brings next level realism to your racing sims. Sense the road. Know your vehicle, and get faster lap times as you tear through the track. Dual helical gear motors give you more torque than traditional gear drive motors, with the same smoothness and quietness of a belt drive motor. Experience a stunning 6 Newton meters of torque, the most torque per dollar than any other wheel, and fast, accurate feedback with 0 dead zones. Feel every nuance and know exactly when you're understeering, oversteering, or losing traction. Spring-loaded pedals give you responsive throttle modulation and brake progression for absolute control and precision, just like the real thing. 2 additional paddles can be used as clutch and e-brake, or as pedal-free throttle and brakes. A rotation switch lets you easily toggle between simulation racing and arcade-style racing. Even the diameter of the wheel is calibrated to exact race car specifications. And an easy share button lets you save and share your best laps with a simple push. From the metal build to the suede wheel and steel pedals, every detail is dialed to give the entire system a high-end feel. Get better, go faster, win more, and enjoy every second of it. With RS30 Ultra, you'll race like a pro and feel like one too. RS30 Ultra by GTR Simulator. Go fast.
Welcome back, race fans, ladies and gentlemen. Now it's time to talk with our Season 5 champion here. He now joins me here in the booth, ladies and gentlemen, here in Victory Lane, Robert Dudleyville Dudley. Robert, first off, congratulations, man. What a race and a season it was for you and the crew. having to come out here and fight it out from start to finish, and obviously putting up a heck of a show here in Michigan. But talk to me about this season, man, because you had to do the envious task of trying to win 2 seasons in a row, and something that's extremely hard to do in any championship series, much less here on Pedal to the Metal Racing League.
Yeah, thank you, Chris. Yeah, this is a tough season. Really talented drivers in here, and really you can't afford to have a bad race. Really, if you have one bad race, it kind of puts you behind the 8 ball. You get 2 bad races, you kind of, the way the point system is, you're kind of really out of it. So keeping your nose clean and getting consistent finishes, and getting top 4s, top 5s, you got a good chance of winning.
Certainly indeed, and obviously it ended up kind of helping you out this season, coming away with the big victory here. Obviously, second place, nothing to sneeze about here at Michigan, but I mean, at the end of the day, going into season 6 and now having to report back to the Xfinity Series, I know you won a championship with those, but how difficult is it going to be for you to kind of go back to back now, having to work off that with these cars?
Yeah, Xfinity cars are drive a little bit different. To me, they're a little bit looser than the Cup cars to me, but yeah, just like I did last year in Xfinity and this year in Cup, consistency pays off. Fastest don't always win. You see people putting up hot laps in practice and all that, but consistency, staying out of trouble.
That is certainly true, to say the least. So, as you're walking away here with the W here tonight, my man, who do you want to thank here and for this finish?
I want to thank you, Kristen, putting on the broadcast all season. And ever since you've been here, it's always a great broadcast. I want to thank all the fans out there that watch and tune in. My dad, Arliss, my wife, Jessica, my son, Tyler. I want to thank all the sponsors like GTR Simulator, Buttkicker, FEGPC, LBT Pallet, Mann's, Lightning Wrapz, Gearhead, Ooz Motorsports. And if I forgot anybody, I'm sorry. But like I said, it's a great season. A lot of great drivers in here. I'm proud to be champion of this league twice in a row. And congratulations, Jeff, on the win tonight.
Congratulations, Dudley. You are the champion, going back to back here in Pedal to the Metal Racing League. What a way to go out, man.
All right, thank you, buddy. We'll see you in a couple.
We'll see you in a couple weeks here. Robert Dudley, ladies and gentlemen, the season champion of Season 5. And coming away here to wrap up Season 5's race here in top 3, he is now Brandon Pike, the number 22. Pike, all day long, man, you were pretty much locked and loaded. You had something down here at Michigan to fight it out with these drivers, and you certainly did show it. Talk me through what it was like to really try to fight it out with some of these top dogs and top guns here.
It was a good race. It kind of felt like Talladega with the draft. You had to definitely draft people. Side drafting was a big factor. I feel like trying to save your tires running up at top would help a lot. At the end, me and Dudley were just doing amazing, just working with each other to try to get up to the front. I think we could have got up to the front and gave Jeffrey a run for his money, but we were just never able to get up there, fighting with a little bit of lap traffic there at the end. But overall, it was a good race for everybody. We're just happy to see Dudley have his championship and Jeff get his win.
For sure.
So it's been a good season.
It certainly was indeed, and I know you had really a lot on your plate here tonight. Obviously, you're trying to go for a big victory here. But I mean, at the end of the day, it seemed like more than anything, your car was just kind of more dialed in for the short runs and kind of hitting up for the rest here. What was the big thing that you saw that no one else really could here on some of those turns?
Well, here, the thing that I could see is running up at top, you just enter in higher, and everybody trying to push down low, they kind of stalling themselves out. If you can just keep that top line and run that and keep your tires good, you're able to get a good push to it.
For sure there. Well, nevertheless, still, Pike coming away at top 3 at last here in the season. I got to ask you, man, who do you want to thank here, and who's going to get you here into the top 3 tonight?
I'd like to thank my wife. I'd like to thank everybody that watches the race with us. I'd like to thank you for all the wonderful broadcasts that you do, and I'd like to thank all of our awesome sponsors, and ready for next season to start.
We are certainly ready to see it come by here, but nevertheless, Pike, congratulations, man. We certainly cannot wait to see you next season, brother.
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, the number 22 driver, Brandon Pike, putting that Pennzoil Ford Mustang into a top 3, but putting it into victory lane and having a good season in his own right. Jeffrey Oaks, ladies and gentlemen. And Jeffrey, congratulations on the win here at Michigan. I know you were really hunting in the last couple races for the championship, but you just ran out of time. Obviously, though, with the way the series went, the points were, it could have gone either way between you and Dudley when all is said and done.
Yeah, I was just talking to him before you come in here, and him and I finished 1-2 in the Xfinity series, and now we finished 1-2 again. And each series I've had a dropped race. Like the Xfinity series, I was on vacation, so I missed one. And then this series, I had Dover, where iRacing never fixed my car. And man, I just want to battle him to the end because I think it would be so good. He's a hats off to him. He's a great driver. Congrats on the championship.
For sure there.
Uh,
And oh, sorry.
no, you're good, man. But
Uh,
let's go. Like we got some wins, we got momentum. Like let's go.
You definitely have pretty much got this one dialed up when it came to going out with the best and fighting it out with the drivers. And I know it obviously meant a lot to you to really kind of play out with these drivers and play out this field and give everything you got. But if there was anything you could have done differently in the last races, would you have tried to do anything differently, or you think this was just really the best you can do going in for next season?
I think if iRacing would have gave me my correct fast repair at Dover, I think I would at least finish top 5 there. And so that cuts off 5-6 point deficit right there. So I think it would have been a lot closer. But no, I mean I can't hang my head on anything for the season. It was a great season. And this one like tonight meant a lot to me because last season in Xfinity, Dudley beat me in the final race. I was catching him in the closing laps and I caught the wall. And so I was like, I want Michigan this season. Like, so, no, I mean, I can't hang my head. I gave it my all. And, there's a netcode glitch with iRacing or whatever, and it is what it is. But I appreciate the league and all the sponsors, GTR Simulator and Lightning Wrapz, and you guys up there in the booth, and LBT Pallet and Gearhead Coffee. Gearhead, if you're listening, I'd like to try some of that coffee.
I think we can hook you up with that.
I would love it. I would love it because my wife's a huge coffee drinker too. So,
We'll have to get in touch with them about that one here in a little while.
right on, right on. But great finish this season. Hats off to all the drivers. Stuck it out, made it go. We went caution free tonight, I think. So that's another bonus. The last few races have been caution free, so that's pretty good. So.
It certainly is indeed, and we certainly were from the start to finish. So, Oaksy, congratulations on a victory and a top 5 prize fund finish. We certainly cannot wait to see you next season, and a big thanks for you always coming on by for Race Horror, man.
All right, thanks, buddy. I'd like to appreciate my beautiful wife who supports me and lets me do this, GTR Motorsports, and always my good buddy Warren, who's constantly making me faster and better.
For sure there. I think he's definitely looking on right now, making sure you're getting thanks out for him. So we appreciate it tonight, man. Congratulations.
Thanks, buddy. Have a good one.
You too. Ladies and gentlemen, your race winner here tonight, I believe your second place finisher in points, Jeffrey Oaks, coming away. Solid season for him. Solid season for everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in. Thank all the friends, family for tuning on by. Thank you again to GTR Racing Simulator, Deedub Button Boxes, the Buttkicker Company, Gearhead Coffee, Ooz Motorsports, LBT Pallet, FEGPC.net, Matt Mills Racing Team, Mann's Maintenance, Berrytown Cleaners, and Lightning Wrapz for everything and then some this season. We cannot thank you enough. And for the fans at home that stuck by us from day one, thank you so much for your support. Season 6 starts in 2022. More racing to be had this week and this season. We will have one last big roundabout racing week coming up here next week. But now I will leave you with this. Thank you. So long. Farewell. Good night.